That's what I like to do. And then some days you just say screw it and do what you feel like. He has raised hundreds of them and he's very good at it.
I have not raised hundreds of them.
And then of course, if all else fails, take a nap. That's going in the outtakes. So we do get asked this a lot. And the answer might not be what you think. Hey lovely one, it's Shandy from ExpressionFiberArts. And if you've been following us for a while, you may know that we offer beautiful hand-dyed yarns as well as new knit and crochet patterns every week for you. But today I thought it would be fun to answer some of the most burning questions that you all have been asking us. So today's video is gonna be a little bit different. It's gonna be super fun, and so I'm really excited to share all of the juicy details with you. Before we jump into all the questions, I wanted to show you our newest pattern, Malhar by Jessica. This crochet tank is inspired by torrential rain and the way that rain droplets are moved by the wind and almost seem to fall at an angle. I love the delicate V-neck, and then on the back it has this more squared off neckline, which is such a beautiful little detail. And then you're gonna find these gorgeous little slits on the side, which just give it that beautiful little touch. And then of course this stitch on the front and the back, which resemble little rain droplets falling in the wind. I also love the little detail running up the one side here on the front and on the back. It's all these little touches that take a design from to just gorgeous. So I think you're gonna love this one. Just a beautiful little staple piece in your wardrobe that I think you're gonna absolutely love making and wearing. And to make this gorgeous top even more magical, we used our Sparkle DK yarn. This is a gorgeous hand-dyed color. It's called Inky Indigo, and it's a beautiful, rich, rain-like blue. And to make this yarn even more fun, it has a silver sparkle running throughout, and it's super soft, and it just feels amazing on your skin. You can download the pattern and get the yarn at ExpressionFiberArts.com. While you're there, make sure that you sign up for email and text updates for weekly free knit and crochet pattern. Also, I'm going to be giving away 5 skeins of this Inky Indigo Sparkle DK, so if you would love to enter, just keep a watch later in the video for how to do that. It is time for the big reveal. We're now going to answer some of the most burning questions that you all have been asking, so without further ado, let's jump on in.
Hey everybody, it's Tim from ExpressionFiberArts, and I'm going to be asking Shandy some of the questions. I'm super excited about it. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and we'll see if we can't trip her up a bit. First question is, what did you and Tim do before EFA? For anyone that doesn't know, Tim is my husband, and he's always behind the camera doing all the videoing, photoing, shooting, and all that stuff. So before ExpressionFiberArts, Tim actually was in early childhood development. He got his degree in that, and for about 10 years or so, he taught Head Start. So little 3 to 5 year olds, they were so cute, and they loved him so much. So it's ironic that we don't have our own kids, but he has raised hundreds of them and he's very good at it. I have not raised hundreds of them. I am not a father to many kids. I was just a teacher. That is not true.
He was a teacher.
Folks, that is not true.
He's shaking his head.
Not true. Not true.
So as for me, when I was 20, I started a mineral makeup and handmade skincare business. And so I still have a passion for all that kind of stuff. I still love it. And it just seems to be that I was destined to have a small handmade product business, because that's just what I've done my whole life. So I really love it. And a lot of the lessons I learned in that business, I've been able to transfer to this one. So yeah, it just seems like what I'm meant to do.
How did you two meet?
When Tim and I were growing up, both of our dads were pastors in the same church organization, which was the United Pentecostal Church International. But we lived in different cities in Alaska. So we knew of each other, but we didn't really know each other. Well, then I moved to Arkansas for quite a few years. And then when I was 29, I got divorced and moved actually up to North Pole, Alaska, where Tim was living. So we reconnected at that time.
And boy, was she a lucky one, folks.
No.
So Shandy, how tall are you?
I am 5'1" 3/4, and I am proud of every inch. I'm tiny but mighty.
Shandy, how did you get started in your business?
So we actually get asked this one quite a lot, and I love to talk about all the juicy details. So I thought, why don't we just do a whole other video on that question alone? So be looking for that one very soon. The answer might surprise you.
How do you organize your time running a business and finding time for personal things?
Well, first of all, I love this question so much because I'm obsessed with productivity. I have a compulsion, I think. I could talk about this all the time, and I get a little like preachy sounding on it, but here we go. Here's what I like to do. So you start with your big goals, like wow, goals, both business-wise, professionally, and personally, and then chunk them up and keep distilling that down until you can get them on your calendar, like actionable steps, and then whoosh all of that to your daily to-do list. And this is just like a continual trickling down. And then you just do these things on your to-do list, kind of whether you feel like it or not, because I think that's the little hang up. Action creates motivation rather than the other way around. At least that's how it works for me. So I don't know, maybe that's helpful, but
That's what I like to do. And then some days you just say screw it and do what you feel like. So do your best.
All right. How many people work at EFA?
We have 4 shop folks, and they get to do all the fun stuff like shipping the yarn out to you, receiving yarn, basically playing with yarn all day. So it's super fun and exciting. We have 4 virtual folks who do various things like marketing, customer service, admin, that type of thing. And dyers vary. We have anywhere from 8 to 12 depending on the season. And then we have several dozen makers and designers. We just have a beautiful group of people that we get to work with, and it's just our honor and it's our pleasure every day to just get to work with such an amazing group of people.
Shandy, who taught you how to knit and crochet, and how long have you been doing it?
My mom tried to teach me how to crochet a chain when I was 9 years old, and I remember being so frustrated because it was so tight and I just couldn't get it, but I wanted to. So then when I was 12, she took me to a garage sale where this lady was selling her tiny little steel crochet hooks, her crochet doily books, and some crochet thread. Mom bought those for me, and we went right home, and I sat down and I read the instructions. I remember reading the instructions for a double crochet in the book, and I just started doing it. So I started whipping out doilies and bookmarks and coasters and bags and all the things, and I was obsessed. I loved it. I tried to knit when I was 14 or so, and I just couldn't get it. I was so petrified of dropping a stitch. And so I just set that aside and did not knit for many years. But then when I was 27, I was in a very, very dark place in my life. I was very unhappy. Nothing really was bringing me joy. But I decided to start knitting. I saw some beautiful yarns in a yarn shop. And so I bought all the supplies. And again, I taught myself from a book. So I learned how to knit that way, and it brought me so much joy. I was just ecstatic. I loved it so much that I just dove head first, and I started crocheting again. I started dyeing yarn. I started spinning yarn. I bought several different spinning wheels, and I just loved the whole fiber world so much.
Is Tim able to knit and crochet after all those video shoots? Laughing face emoji, heart face emoji.
So you would think so. And he has tried both. And he is actually pretty good at saying like, oh, that's knitting. Is that garter stitch? Oh, that's stockinette stitch. That's a double crochet. So he can do that, but he prefers filming the process over actually doing the stitching, I think.
Shandy, do you like to read? And if so, do you have an all-time favorite book that has impacted your life?
Let me tell you, do I like to read? Yes, I'm obsessed with reading. And my all-time favorite book, like drop everything, I'm not even joking, go get it right now. It will change your life, is The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Just go get it.
So how do you come up with your yarn fibers, colors, and inspirations?
I feel like ideas just come to me. So as far as the fiber blends, all of our fiber blends and colorways are unique and custom to us. So I'll come up with an idea like, oh, I want this percentage of this fiber, blah, blah, blah. So I will tell the factory, they'll send us samples, we'll test them out, and if they're fabulous, we roll them out for you. And then colorways, I actually just looked so that I could tell you exactly. I'm obsessed with color, so we do new colors all the time, like constantly we're listing new colors. And as of right now, we have 4,369 different formulas on our master dye sheet. So that's not all of them either. So yeah, ideas will just come to me because I think everything is beautiful. Of course, nature, like oceans and mountains and flowers, birds, butterflies, even outer space, like cities, people, thoughts, feelings, experiences. It all can be turned into a yarn concept. I love it so much. It is truly my greatest passion.
Shandy, do you have a stylist or have you ever been to a color specialist? How do you look so good in all of those colors?
That's actually a really funny question because my hair is such a thing. It's always been such a challenge for me. I have naturally curly hair. So I feel like I've had every length, every color, every cut. I've had so many different hairstyles. So I do currently go to a lady who cuts and colors it. I've tucked my tail and realized I'm not very good at that. But I do attempt to style it myself for our video shoots and our photo shoots. And I just do my best. I don't know what I'm doing. And so that's why I wear a lot of hats. So if you ever see me wearing a hat, it's probably because I'm having a bad hair day.
Are all your videos filmed at your home? And did you do all the decorating if they are?
Yes and no. So the past few years, all of our videos have been filmed here, or we've filmed our videos here at our house. And actually Tim does 99%, like actually more like 100, but I try to like, you know, pretend. He does basically all of the decorating.
Shandy, why did you move to North Carolina away from Alaska?
We actually love Alaska. It is so majestic, it's so beautiful, it's so unique, it's intoxicating really. So if you haven't visited, I highly recommend you at least visit Alaska once in your life. It is magical and incredible. But we had lived there through most of our lives, so we just were ready for something new, and we just wanted some warm weather and also some warm weather and a little bit of warm weather. So we just picked a spot, boop, and chose Charlotte. And so we took off in our Jeep, drove 8 days and made it here, and we've been here ever since, and we really, really love it so much. Oh, and I mentioned I'm going to be doing a giveaway for the Inky Indigo Sparkle DK yarn. So if you would love to enter, just make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel and comment the word sparkle below.
What is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie of all time, I have to say, is Emma. Jane Austen, of course. The version with Gwyneth Paltrow. Done.
Shandy, how do you deal with unexpected setbacks or challenges in life?
Well, what I try to do is, first of all, remember that everything happens as it's meant to. I choose to believe that. And whenever challenges arise, I try my best to just feel the feelings and watch the thoughts as they arise, and then try to handle the situation as calmly as possible. So yeah, truly knowing that things will work out as they're designed to. So I don't always succeed with that, but I do my best. That's all you can do. And then of course, if all else fails, take a nap.
So I think that you've mentioned that both your and Tim's fathers were pastors. How does that shape the way you view the world?
Both of our church groups were full of very wonderful, friendly, warm individuals. And so we grew up with a beautiful sense of community and support, which I didn't realize until later in life just how important that is. So that to me was just super precious. And I think just the values of, trying to be a good person, trying to show love to others, trying to make, the right moral choice. And I think all of that just trickles into who we try to be today. And then of course, a little bit of the dress code. So we dress a little bit more modestly, dresses, long hair, no makeup, that type of thing. Although I don't adhere to that strictly anymore, I think it still trickles over. Like I'll try to be a little bit modest. I feel sometimes uncomfortable showing too much skin, or I do love beautiful dresses, that type of thing. So it definitely has shaped us. To me, the most important aspect has been that sense of community. And that's the thing I think that I miss the most now that I'm older, but yeah.
Shandy, why don't you have a storefront?
So we do get asked this question a lot. Basically, long story short, when I was in my 20s and had my previous business selling makeup and skincare, I did it all. I manufactured, I wholesaled, I retailed, online and in person, had an actual storefront, and it was just too much. Like it was just a lot. And so I had to shut down the public facing store and just stick to online. And so basically that bled over into the yarn business. And so for now, we don't have a store open to the public. We are online only. Never say never, but that's where we stand today. Plus, honestly, we are major introverts. And so I love every time I get a chance to interact with any of you in person. But we just are major introverts. And so we direct our energies to the online stuff. So hopefully that makes sense.
What gives you hope?
I choose to believe that and this is true, every action that you take goes out and ripples in ways that you don't even know. You can't even fathom how far the ripples of your actions go out into the world. And so if you are ever sitting there thinking, I am small, I'm insignificant, I don't make any difference in the world, blah, 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 it is the farthest thing from the truth. You could go to the grocery store right now and smile at a stranger, and you don't know. Maybe they were about to go, who knows, and you just changed their day and gave them that little bit of brightness. You make such an impact and such a difference. And so for me, what gives me hope is knowing that and grounding my life in that belief that we matter, we have a purpose, and that every action we take makes a difference.
I always wonder how beautiful you are. Would you tell us how old you are and what you do to keep your health?
So I'm 43, and we do our best. So we do try to get to the gym, we try to eat healthy, we lift weights, we do some cardio. Sometimes we fail, sometimes we have cheat days, but we just try to get up the next day and keep trucking and keep doing our best. So I think it's just a continual journey. But yeah, I think overall it's just important to embrace who you are as a person. Try to do the best you can, but ultimately love yourself, including all of your flaws and quirks.
Shandy, why don't you have any kids or pets?
For me, when I was 9 years old, I had the experience of my nephew being born. And just something about that, I just knew at that age, that experience was not for me. I had zero motherly instincts. I didn't play with baby dolls. It was just nothing that I aspired to do in life. And then in my 20s, I was so miserable, like super duper miserable. And I couldn't fathom bringing a child into the world. Like, oh no, I just couldn't even think about it. It felt at that time, for me, extremely selfish to bring a child into the world and to have to potentially experience this misery for 80, 90 years. Like it wasn't even, I just couldn't even imagine it. So, and then in my early 30s, Tim and I got married and we talked about it and we just decided, you know what? We choose not to have children, and we just have felt great about that ever since. And we have tons, I mean, tons of nieces and nephews, even great nieces and nephews. We've lost track. We've legit lost count. We have such huge families that we love so much, and we try to visit them as often as we can. And sometimes they come see us. So yeah, it was just a choice that we made. And at 43, that ship has sailed. So bye ship. But yeah, we love children, we love babies, and so yeah, we love being auntie and uncle. And then same thing for pets. So we love kitties and puppies so much, and all kinds of animals just so dearly. And we're just the auntie and uncle of the neighborhood for all the little animals, except that one dog, because he tries to bite our heads off. But other than him, no. So we love them, and you know, never say never. For now, we're just choosing not to have any, but someday. I always kind of have that in the back of my mind, so we'll see.
Kids or pets?
Pets. Pets. The ship has sailed on kids.
Folks, I'm working on the kid part.
All right, everybody, I hope that you had a fun time with me here today and this answered some of your burning questions. If you have any more, please comment below and let us know, and hopefully we can do another video like this at some point. And I would love to hear from you. Please tell me, how did you get started knitting, crocheting? Tell me something interesting about yourself. I always love perusing through and reading. So have a wonderful day. Soak up this beautiful day because it is all we have. And I will see you next week with another new design. Bye!